67. The Magic Path. In the province of Kwangtung, there lived a scholar named Kuo, who was one evening on his way home from a friend's when he lost his way among the hills. He got into a thick jungle where, after about an hour's wandering, he suddenly heard the sound of laughing and talking on the top of the hill. Hurrying up in the direction of the sound, he beheld some 10 or a dozen persons sitting on the ground engaged in drinking. No sooner had they caught sight of Kuo than they all cried out, "Come along, just room for one more, you're in the nick of time." So Kuo sat down with the company, most of whom he noticed belonged to the literati, and began by asking them to direct him on his way home. But one of them cried out, "A nice sort of fellow you are, to be bothering about your way home and paying no attention to the fine moon we have got tonight." The speaker then presented him with a goblet of wine of exquisite bouquet, which Kuo drank off at a draught, and another gentleman filled up again for him at once. Now, Kuo was pretty good in that line, and being very thirsty withal from his long walk, tossed off bumper after bumper to the great delight of his hosts, who were unanimous in voting him a jolly good fellow. He was moreover full of fun, and could imitate exactly the note of any kind of bird. So all of a sudden he began on the sly to twitter like a swallow, to the great astonishment of the others, who wondered how it was a swallow could be out so late. He then changed his note to that of a cuckoo, sitting there laughing and saying nothing, while his hosts were discussing the extraordinary sounds they had just heard. After a while he imitated a parrot and cried, "Mr. Kuo is very drunk, you'd better see him home." And then the sound ceased, beginning again by and by, when at last the others found out who it was, and all burst out laughing. They screwed up their mouths and tried to whistle like Kuo, but none of them could do so. And soon one of them observed, "What a pity Madam Qing isn't with us. We must rendezvous here again at mid-autumn, and you, Mr. Kuo, must be sure and come." Kuo said he would, whereupon another of his hosts got up and remarked that, as he had given them such an amusing entertainment, they would try to show him a few acrobatic feats. They all arose, and one of them planting his feet firmly, a second jumped up onto his shoulders, a third onto the second shoulders, and a fourth onto his, until it was too high for the rest to jump up. And accordingly they began to climb as though it had been a ladder. When they were all up, and the topmost head seemed to touch the clouds, the whole column bent gradually down until it lay along the ground, transformed into a path. Kuo remained for some time in a state of considerable alarm, and then, setting out along this path, ultimately reached his own home. Some days afterwards he revisited the spot, and saw the remains of a feast lying about on the ground, with dense bushes on all sides, but no sign of a path. At mid-autumn he thought of keeping his engagement. However, his friends persuaded him not to go.
Thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more excellent content.